I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling on my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning: the Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to our second Super Speedway stop of Season 8 of the NNSCRA Next Gen Cup Series. And we are getting set here for race number 10 at Dragonnett Super Speedway. It's only the Cup Series here this weekend. We had full day qualified yesterday. Destin Bolin, man, this team has been fuego as of late. Of course, they got that win earlier on this season at Pocono. They were in our storylines for a couple of weeks as they were below the top 30 in points, but that Pocono would not count towards the wild card spot. What did they do? Last week, they went out, held off one of the best in the business in Carson Gum to pick up their second win of the season. They've moved their way up into the top 30 in points, into the number one wild card seed, and then they come out here and sit on the pole for this weekend's race. So a lot of things going right for the Zero team out of Young Motorsports. He'll be alongside of Casey Voigt in the 24. Casey Voigt looking for a good run off the heels of 2 weeks ago, having his first top 5 performance at Sonoma. Casey Hoyt coming into this race 21st in the point stands, of course, was a 3-time winner last season. We haven't quite seen that same spark that he had in his rookie campaign, but maybe that run he had at Sonoma might be an indication that we're starting to get the old Casey Hoyt back. We'll have to wait and see. Another big storyline coming into this weekend is usually your super speedway races are your wild card races. It's close proximity. The points are usually close with the close positioning on the racetrack. And of course, the dreaded big one can shake things up. However, I feel like this wild card feeling of the super speedway may not quite be up to the hype that we normally would have, because last week at Texas Motor Speedway felt like a wild card race. If anything, only half the field made it back to the checkered flag. Half the field was wiped out in that massive collision that took place from turn 4 really all the way down past the start finish line into turn 1. Took out a lot of drivers, and it shook things up in the point standings, specifically up near the top of the point standings in that battle for the regular season championship. Jack Mitchell managed to actually finish out the race inside of the top half, and that was enough for him to be able to keep the points lead, but not by much. 3 drivers, I called them yesterday in pole day qualifying the terrible trio as of right now, they're on the rise, and they are Ryan Brummer, Carson Gum, and Matt McIntyre, who all 3 finished inside of the top 5 last week. Brummer moved up 3 spots in the standings to second in points. He's now only 4 points out of the points lead. Carson Gum jumped up 6 spots in the standings after his run-up finish last week. He's third in points, only 6 points back. And Matt McIntyre, who finished third last week, he is up to 4th in the points, gained 4 spots last week. He is only 7 points out of the points lead. So drivers that were up there inside the top 3 in the points heading into the Texas race that dropped. James Qualls fell to 5th. But he's still only 9 points out, still has a shot. Levi McIntyre fell to 6th, but he's still only 10 points back. And Benjamin Miles fell to 7th, but he's only 16 points out. So it is still super, super close among 7 drivers who easily, mathematically, could leave this afternoon heading into I-69 Speedway's doubleheader next week as the new points leader. We'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out. But it's time to go down trackside. 70 laps on tap here this afternoon at the 2.55 mile super speedway known as Dragonnett. Let's get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
But just like when we talked about the transporter, at the end of pit road, the last pit box is a timing line. So the last white line on pit exit is the line. Big thumbs up, my friend. Have a good time.
See your starting lineup on the right side of your screen. You're going to see some pretty big names starting deep in the field for this one. We gave you your top 7 in points. Joshua Osborne, Alexander Rowe, RJ Bishop. Right now, 8th through 10th, so they'd be in playoff spots. Dustin Bolin, number 1 wildcard spot with his 2 wins. Eric Sadler, Matt Haas, Nathan Ormond, Daniel Voiles, also in wildcard positions with their previous wins. Cole Deaver would have the final wildcard spot on points. 11th in the standings coming into this one. And also Nathan Ormond, Daniel Voiles are only 2 points to the good above the 30th standings cut line. So they need a good run today to build themselves a bit of a points cushion buffer. Alright, green flag is ready to fly. We are underway at Dragonnett Super Speedway for our second Super Speedway stop of the season. Let's wait and see how this one plays out. It was originally supposed to be Coke Zero Super Speedway. We ran into some technical issues there, much like what we were going to have to do with Coda being replaced by Sonoma. So Dragonnett ready to play its part into several different things. Potential playoff grid heading into next week. A driver may be locking themselves into the All-Star race, which is fast approaching, by the way, folks. We got I-69 Speedway next week, then Darlington, and then Chicagoland, and then we're heading to Atlanta Super Speedway for All-Star race weekend. So we are 4 wide back here, but a drag race to the line. Ooh, that was close between Bolin and Brommer. Scoring's going to give it to the 0-2. Nick Gunther stuck in the middle, 4 wide. They settle it out to 3 wide there with very, very close racing. There could have easily been a mistake. Contact made, and we could have had a wreck right up here at the front inside of the top 5 as Laura Chung, with that 3 wide move into turn 1, moves to the top position. Jack Mitchell follows her into 2nd, the points leader. Joshua Osborne now slots into 3rd place. Or Chung will get a bonus point for a lap led there. 3 wide for 3rd. James Qualls looking to the inside there. His teammate Joshua Osborne drifted back on the top side of that 3 wide formation. It's now Qualls versus Fogler. Qualls has drafting help from fellow Chevrolet Benjamin Miles in the 25. Now Qualls looking to move up to that middle line there, try and get some momentum, maybe get a run off of turn 4 to hold off Benjamin Miles. Not going to work. Miles with a very good center through 3 and 4. He'll almost clear for the 3rd spot here going into turn 1. As your top 2 remain single file there, Chung and Mitchell. A Toyota and a Chevrolet working in tandem, but hey, they've got about a car length and a half, 2 car lengths back to this 3rd place battle, which now is going to go to Alexander Rowe in the Dunkin' Donuts number 46. And now, whoa, Mitchell! I don't think he knew the 46 had that big of a run. He dove it into turn 3, almost into left rear quarter panel of Jack Mitchell, who had to move up out of the way. And Rowe with, I don't think we can call that a slide job. It almost kind of looked like one. He'll slot into the 2nd spot. Mitchell going to cross him over through 1 and 2. Dylan Young's now made his way up into the top 5. And he's bringing Charles Sanford in the 0-3 along with him. Well, if you guys looked at that starting lineup, you would have made the observation that 3rd in points, Carson Gunn, last week's runner-up, started this race shotgun. We're 5 laps in. Look where he is. He's already up in the top 10. He's going to cross the line, I think, 7th place. So I think it's possible to pass here. He was 15th the previous lap by. He picked up 8 spots in one lap, right there, from lap 5 onto lap 6. And he is now inside of the top 5 as he's now trying to take that 5th position from the car to his inside, the 98 of RJ Bishop, who cracked the top 10 for the first time this season last week. Got a car on pit road, and it is Destin Bolin, our pole sitter. Last week's winner, 2-time winner on the season. This is an unscheduled pit stop for Destin Bolin. And Destin's being hit with a black flag penalty. The reasoning, I'm not certain. It can't be for jumping the start. He was the pole sitter. But something. I don't know what it would be. What would the penalty be on that car? Did he pass the... He couldn't have. I was going to say, did he pass the pace car? But he couldn't have. They waited on the flagman to tell them when to go green. Michael Norman now to the top position. We're going to have to try and follow up on this. I don't know what it would have been where they would have been able to find just cause to penalize the 0-2. But now Destin Bolin, after having to make that stop and go, he is 1 lap down. He's back on the racetrack, but he is last. Michael Norman, Summer Henson now 1-2. Joshua Osborne looking to slot into 3rd. Teammates, the 48 of LaPlante, the 25 Benjamin Miles, will split Matt McIntyre in the middle here through 3 and 4. And there's Chris Dollerton in the 82, started in mid-pack, the only go-or-go-home driver to make the field this weekend. Normally we have 2 drivers slot in for the final 2 41st and 42nd entries, but this week only 1 driver was able to move on to the main event, and Dollerton, for the 2nd straight week, taking part in the Cup Series race. He was part of the double at his home track last week at Texas. Didn't get the finish he was looking for there, though. 36th in his first start of the season, but looking to improve on that here this weekend at Dragonnett. And now he'll look low on Austin LaPlante, who led that lap. And we talk about super speedways being wildcard races. They can be wildcard races in several different ways. And one of the ways that they are a wildcard type race, and it's one of the facets I love maybe the most about super speedway racing, is a lot of times they tend to cater to the underdog or the driver that is struggling in points and really needs the win. Well, I think Austin LaPlante would be one of those drivers under that criteria. He comes into this race the lowest of the full-time drivers in points as Matt McIntyre makes a dive onto pit road there in the 21. This can't be scheduled for him. That's a driver that comes into this race 4th in points, but going back to LaPlante, he only has 1 top 10 on the season. He's 41st in points, and so, you know, if we're looking at a driver that the super speedway maybe will cater to and help out the struggling of, LaPlante could be one of those drivers. You could also look at Connor Breton, Jessica Schulten, Charles Sanford, Kyler Sustre, Caleb Vogler, Keith Batson, Jesse Turner, all falling under that category. Matt McIntyre down and away. Now we do know that at least for the 21, it is not a penalty that they had to serve. Looks like it was actually something more untoward. Maybe he felt the tire going soft, but now he's going to lose a lap to his teammate, Michael Norman, who's now out in front with them stacked up 3 wide, a couple rows deep behind him. So Matt McIntyre, who has been on a momentum streak as of late, is going to be hoping for a yellow flag to bail him out of this. I think he'd need the caution to come out at just the right time. He'd need these drivers to all come to pit road, have him cycle back on the lead lap, and then potentially catch the caution that would have him back on the same lap as everybody. Otherwise, he's probably going to spend most of this race a lap down. Kyle Matthews with a run to the inside of Eric Monaco for second place. Field got a little spread out there after Matt McIntyre had to make the dive onto pit road. They have since bunched back up, but it has made for a lot more movement through the middle of the pack. A lot of drivers swapping lanes from middle to bottom, middle to top, bottom to middle. It's Kyle Matthews now out in front, got around Michael Norman, but he's going to get taken 3 wide here into turn 3. Benjamin Miles on the bottom, Kyler Sustre in the middle, and momentum and drafting help is right down that yellow line. Benjamin Miles is going to go to the point. And right behind him is Reggie Fogelman, who rolled off the grid 40th. We saw Carson Gum make his way to the front after starting 41st. Fogelman now looking for the top position, 15 laps after starting towards the rear of the field. Well, these drivers here in a pack pulling upwards of 220 miles per hour. We saw in qualifying yesterday, single cars would run somewhere around maybe a max of 212, 213. So Destin Bolin and Matt McIntyre, who are both out there by themselves, they are going to be 6 to 7 miles per hour slower than the pack every lap. Destin Bolin is just now heading into turn 3. Matt McIntyre coming out of turn 4. The field was thundering into turn number 1. So about half a lap down right now for Destin Bolin, or half a lap behind, I should say. And then for Matt McIntyre, maybe about a third of the track ahead. Both drivers, though, are 1 lap down right now to the race leaders. Summer Henson and Eric Sadler and Eric Monaco all nose to tail there on that top line, crossing the start-finish line. We talk about how close the point standings are for the overall points lead. How about the battle for the rookie points lead coming into this weekend? 3 points separate our 4 full-time rookies in rookie standings. Eric Sadler, Eric Monaco are tied with 75 points each. And then Summer Henson and Daniel Bouchard, the other 2 rookies, they have 72 points each. 3 points back from the tie for the points lead. So, safe to say, we were talking about that any of 7 drivers could leave here this afternoon the new points leader. Any of those 4 rookies could head into next week's race leading the rookie point standings. Who would have thought things would be this close 9 races into the season? Normally around this point, things start to spread out a little bit more. We get a more clear idea of who some of the favorites are to lock up playoff positions. We aren't at that point at all. Jesse Turner has his teammate Alexander Rowe on the inside. Lake Effect Auto Sports Mustangs working together, and Jesse Turner is going to edge out Nathan Ormond here coming to the stripe. Alexander Rowe going to step out here, try and have the inside advantage going into turn 1. Dylan Poteet right behind them in the 31 car. Poteet, a multi-time winner last season, was in the Final 4 for the championship. This season, though, success has been on the other side of Fortnite Squad Racing, with Carson Gum getting the victory in top 5 in points. Dylan Poteet is 25th in the stands and has only 1 top 10 so far this year. Now, I have noticed that there has been a breakup here. There's about 7 cars in their own little group here. A few of them, drivers high up there in the point standings. 2nd in points, Ryan Brommer. 3rd in points, Carson Gum. And 6th in points, Levi McIntyre. This group, I'm not necessarily certain if they have lost the draft or not. It looks like maybe they have. And I don't know if this was in relation to some of the cars that may or may not have gotten held up when Matt McIntyre had to come to pit road. But they're racing double and 3 wide back here, and it's not helping them. And we got a driver coming to pit road. Oh, that's LaPlante. LaPlante blew up. The 48 blew up. I was noticing the field really slowing And it's because the 48 blew up right up there in front of everybody else. And LaPlante's done for the day. The troubles for this 48 team continue, as a mechanical problem is going to take LaPlante out of this race. You saw they didn't even bother to diagnose the car. They just took it to the garage. And LaPlante is going to finish 41st this afternoon. That is a tough, tough break there for LaPlante, and that has split the field up once again. LaPlante was running, I believe, up inside of the top 15. And you can see how the field is broken up. This is the big pack back here with Monaco and Osborne. They should be able to catch this trio of Miles, Lamas, and Rowe. And I think all of these guys up here, they will catch them at some point. There's only 6 cars in this lead group, 3 cars in the second group, and then the rest of the field in that third group. So I think they're going to catch up. It'll take a little bit of time, though. In this lead group, though, you got Michael Norman, who has so far led the most laps, and that's only 3 circuits out in front. Your points leader, Jack Mitchell, now going to lead another lap right there. Dylan Poteet in this group. How about Jessica Shelton in the 94, the defending champ, is up here. She started out back as well. I think she started 39th. Just 2 poles on the season, including at the first super speedway this year, Daytona. But 38th in points, still looking for her first top 10 on the season. Looking strong here in the early going of this one, nearing the halfway point. As Michael Norman, Dylan Poteet going to duke it out for the top position. Let's drop back and see. Yeah, looks like that group of Alexander Rowe and Benjamin Miles, they got reeled in. Cody Lamas as well. That helped Carson Gum and some of those others that were in that small pack. Levi McIntyre, I think, was in that group. Ryan Brommer, they were able to catch back up there after everybody in front of them were slowing massively. Caleb Fogler's on pit road in the 28. They're servicing that car, and I think that's a regularly scheduled stop. I think we have some more drivers maybe that are going to be coming down. No, actually, I think he's leaving pit road right now. So that is the 4th driver to have an issue here this afternoon. Granted, Destin Bolin came down pit road for a penalty, but Matt McIntyre had an unscheduled stop. Caleb Fogler now an unscheduled stop. Both of those drivers Fords. And Austin LaPlante with the engine failure out of the race. If we're looking at lap times, let's compare this second group to the lead pack. Michael Norman last time by ran a 40.806. Benjamin Snyder, leading this group, ran a 40.696, so a little more than a 1/10 of a second gained by the second pack. Let's see about this time by. 40.581 for Snyder, 40.561 for Michael Norman. About the same. Little bit of it more advantage to this lead group. So the second group needs this lead group to keep racing double wide, 3 wide. They're going to race double wide, 3 wide here in this pack. They're just too big. They can't single file out. There's just no way that that's a possibility. Right now, pretty organized up here in this lead group, and they're going to get themselves single filed out. Well, I say that, and Dylan Poteet steps out of line for second on Zachary Fitzwater. Granted, though, you've got to run. You got to take it somewhere. Otherwise, you're just running into the back of somebody in the corner, and that's going to spin him out. Well, here we go. Double wide, 2 rows deep. This is what that second group needs. They need them double wide and 3 wide. Caleb Fogler lost a lap with his unscheduled pit stop, so now 3 drivers are -1. 37 drivers on the lead lap at this point in time of 40 cars running. And we do know that these drivers are going to have to make a pit stop here. I'm wondering for Caleb Fogler, I think for Destin Bolin and Matt McIntyre, I think they're going to have to come to pit road again. I don't think they were inside the fuel window. Caleb Fogler might have been able to be within his fuel window to make it the rest of the way. So he might have made his only pit stop of the afternoon. We'll have to wait and see on that. The last I heard, the number that most of the crew chiefs were talking was around lap 50 when they expected if we ran green that the drivers would have to dive onto pit lane for pit stops. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. Dylan Poteet out in front, showing the way here in that Toyota, looking for the Fortnite Squad Racing sweep, having both their drivers go to victory lane. Of course, remember last year, Fortnite Squad Racing was a 4-car organization. They were kind of the birth child of what is now Garage 55, as they housed 2 then Chevrolets for Dylan Poteet and Carson Gum, and 2 Mazdas for Nick Gunther and Anthony McCurry. Well, Gunther, McCurry, and Garage 55 formulated up during the offseason. They are now their own team, Fortnite Squad Racing, down to 2 full-time race cars with Poteet and Carson Gum. They moved from Chevy over to Toyota. They do field some part-time drivers every now and then. We've seen Andrew Miller attempt to qualify for some races. Benny Watson, we saw him make the start back at Pocono. And Charles Belding, we saw make the start in the Daytona 500. You look up here at this lead group, and there's really only 2 drivers that have a teammate to be able to rely on. That would be Chris Dollerton, Zachary Fitzwater, the Blue Automotive Mustangs, the 82 and the 83. Dollerton, of course, doesn't run for points here in the Cup Series. The former champion running full-time in the Duracell Ultra Light Series, which will return next week, along with the Cup cars at I-69 Speedway. But if Zachary Fitzwater has the opportunity to have his teammate maybe push him to a win, to lock him into a playoff spot, that'd be huge. Fitzwater coming to this one 23rd in points. They have caught the 0-2 of Destin Bolin, our pole sitter. He's going to mesh in with this group. Destin's now going to fall 2 laps down, though, as a result. He already lost 1 lap, having to serve the penalty that we're still trying to figure out what the penalty was. And if you're trying to keep track on that second group, they are losing ground, actually, to the lead pack. They have been anywhere from a tenth to a tenth and a half slower than the lead group, because the lead group, with having less cars, has the benefit of running single file or double file back here. This is 7th place on back. Cole Deaver, Benjamin Snyder heading their respective lanes. You can hear the engines of the top 6 up ahead. That time by might have been just about equal with the lead group. If they can get a whiff of draft off that 94 of Jessica Shelton, that's going to reel them in really quickly. It's just a matter of getting to the right interval behind this group. Michael Norman, this might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now, because he has constantly been able to find his way back up to the front. He has led 11 laps. He's the only driver that has led in the double digits in terms of laps led here this afternoon. Next highest to him would be 5 laps led, and that's Laura Chung, who's right now mired back in the mid-30s. Everybody else has led either 3, 2, or 1 lap this afternoon. Well, now Dylan Poteet just made me a liar. He just led his 4th lap. That second pack, they're still trying to reel in the lead group. The interval increased. It was 2.5 seconds. It's now to 3 seconds. This might help them out, though. Look at this. 3 wide, fanning out into turn 3. The lap car of Destin Bolin in the center of this. Norman on the bottom, Poteet on the top. This is going to stall out all 3 lanes. Now they get it back to double file. Let's see if that second group, who are pretty organized double file here, if they're going to utilize that to their advantage to catch up to that lead pack. It was 3.1 seconds last time by. Let's see when scoring updates what the interval was this time by. From Snyder to the front. 2.6, 2.7, they actually reeled them in. They closed up 4 tenths. As soon as I say that, this lead group gets back organized again. Halfway home here in the Coke 0200. Again, reminder, next week, both the Cup and the Light Series drivers back at it again as the Lights drivers enjoy a little off week this week. I-69 Speedway next on tap for both series. And a doubleheader. That should be a good one. Gap closed up again that previous lap from the second group to the lead group by a tenth. 2.6 seconds now, the gap. And these four drivers at the lead group of this, they've gotten themselves single filed out, so that gave them some really good speed through 3 and 4. And let's see if the gap closes up again. Shelton just tailing this pack here as, yeah, another 2/10 were gained right there by the second group. But I'm wondering if Shelton might be saving fuel. She's been consistently just trailing the tail end of this lead pack here ever since they got broken up from the big pack behind them. So Shelton might be looking to, I don't think she can make it on fuel, but looking maybe to go the extra lap. Shelton won a fuel strategy race last year at Chicagoland that really spearheaded her campaign towards eventually winning the championship. We're going to be going back to Chicagoland in a few weeks. But Michael Norman, he has had one strong piece. Out in front now for 14 laps. The problem for him, though, is with all these laps he's leading, he is using up the most fuel. So he will have to be one of the first ones to dive onto pit road. If you're just joining us, halfway home here at Dragonnett. We've not been without incident, yet we have not seen a caution flag this afternoon. Austin LaPlante with an engine failure is out of the race. Destin Bolin started on pole, but he got hit with a black flag penalty that we're still trying to get the reasoning of. He had to serve that. He's right now 2 laps down. And then Caleb Fogler and Matt McIntyre, both with problems, had unscheduled pit stops and have fallen down 1 lap each. Biggest hit's going to be for Matt McIntyre, who came into this race 4th in points, only 7 points out of the points lead. Also, will be interesting to see if Destin Bolin cannot improve where he's running in 40th. It'll be interesting to see where he's going to be. Remember, he got that win last week, his second of the season, jumped up to 24th in points. However, he was only 16 points ahead of the cut line coming into this race. Talking about 30th in the standings. If he gives all those positions back, all those points back, he could be back outside the top 30 in points heading into next week. 2.3 seconds the gap right now from that second group to the leader, and the leaders are going to start reeling in more traffic. Not too far up ahead, you've got both Matt McIntyre and Caleb Fogler, who are up to speed, but obviously at a speed deficit with not having the benefit of the draft, so it may slow up this lead group just the least little bit. We'll wait and find out if that's going to be the case or not. Depends, I guess, on where they catch them. This group getting a toe off that 21 actually really helped them. They gained 0.2 of a second. And now Poti with a big run. Looks like he's showing, indicating he's going to go low. Matt McIntyre was going to try and block him. Couldn't do it. That might stall out this group just a little bit there, with Poti having to bail out of the throttle. Caleb Fogler just up ahead as well in the 28, and he's going to move low. Poteet's going to go lower. I think actually catching that lap traffic actually helped this lead pack more than hindered it. Because, yeah, in the last 2 laps, they've actually gained 0.4 of a second on the second group. They've also added numbers to their pack there, with the 21 and the 28 joining their ranks, making them now a 9-car pack. And this, I believe, also puts Caleb Fogler, Matt McIntyre, and Destin Bolin all together on the same lap. So we got a three-way battle for what would be 38th position, which doesn't seem like much, but 38th pays out more points than 39th and 40th. And we talk about this all the time in the regular season. Every point matters. We are approaching that green flag pit stop number that we were told. We'll see how long drivers wait to make the dive onto pit lane, if they have to. Michael Norman going back to the point in the 22 car. So far, he and Dylan Poteet have really been the two back and forthing for the top position, but how about Jack Mitchell? Finished, I think it was 21st last week. DNF'd. Oh, did we have some pit stops? We didn't have pit stops, but the field broke up. What happened here? Summer Henson on pit road in the 78. That's what broke the field up there. I don't know if this is regularly scheduled or not. Came down all by herself with nobody else, so if this was regularly scheduled, it's... Oh, Kyler Suster saying, yeah, this was regularly scheduled. And Dylan Poteet pitted from the lead group. Daniel Voiles, Connor Breton, Jesse Turner, RJ Bishop, Kyler Sustre in. So, yep, that started the green flag pit stop cycle with the 78 hitting pit road. All by herself, though. Interesting. Let's see if any of our leaders from this pack are coming in this time. Poteet was the first one to dive in. Yep, here comes Norman. The lap car of Destin Bolin, Jessica Shelton in as well. Others behind them flying in. Laura Chung, Charles Sanford trying to gain that time there. I think I saw Cody Lamas was also behind them. Yep, Eric Sadler, Cole Deaver, Nathan Ormond, Eric Monaco, Dylan Young, Daniel Bouchard, Benjamin Miles. And apparently Nathan Ormond and Eric Monaco want the same pit stall. Battle for the lead between teammates. Zachary Fitzwater and Chris Dollerton. Dollerton's coming in. Jack Mitchell's coming in as well. I forgot about that thing with Dragonnett. Anybody remember the Levi McIntyre, Jacob Lawler incident? It's back. I forgot about this racetrack having the two merged pit stalls. Oh, and Anthony McCurry says, I'll help you guys out. Yeah. Yep, there it goes. Right up on top of Anthony's car. Zachary Fitzwater now, he'll probably make the dive onto pit road this time by... No, he's going to be able to go further. Look at that. So I thought Shelton was the one saving fuel. Oh, caution's out. And this could change up a lot. Yellow flag is out, and we had a number of drivers, I think, that were a lap down. Now we know why Fitzwater didn't hit pit road. I hope he's got enough fuel to get back around. Caution's out, and... I don't think it was for the pit road incident that we just saw there, but then again, I could be wrong. I mean, it was off the racing surface. I don't see why that'd be what would bring out the yellow, but then again, who knows? Let's go back, take a look. See if we can figure out what the caution came out for. This caution coming out, nearing 20 laps to go. And race officials are going to have a doozy of a time trying to figure out all of who is supposed to be where. Looks like it actually was the incident on pit road. So we'll go back and look at it here. Yeah, unfortunately, Dragonnett, I forgot about the fact that it has two pit stalls that actually mesh together. And right there, when the 23 and the 45 both spawned into their pit stalls there, calling for the tows, they both end up doing that. They become a teeter-totter. Oh my gosh. Wow. Nathan Norman with a bit of a swan dive right there. But that is what brought the caution out. So unusual circumstances bringing out the yellow flag, and it's got our field completely jumbled up now. That was right in the middle of green flag pit stops. And I believe your top 10 are the only drivers right now on the lead lap, at least in the conversation for this win. 11th on back are a lap down, but I think that they stayed out when the leaders just pit, so they'd be on the tail end of the lead lap and would be restarting up ahead of the leaders. You're looking at Benjamin Snyder, who is right now scored in 11th. Dylan Pote right behind him, along with Kyle Matthews, Jessica Shelton, Carson Gunn. These drivers are now on the tail end of the lead lap. Your leader is right there. No, it's not. I was going to say it's Zachary Fitzwater, but it might actually end up being Chris Dollerton. Yeah, I think it's going to be Dollerton. We're still waiting for scoring to update itself here. They've got Fitzwater scored as the leader, but I think with him pitting, I think that these drivers here, Dollerton, Quentin Moore, and Jack Mitchell, may have gotten off of pit road still on the lead lap and stayed out to cycle to the lead when pit road was open. So I think Dollerton's going to be the race leader, but you see how far back he is. All the rest of these drivers up ahead of him are going to be tail end of the lead lap. Yeah, scoring's not updated itself yet. Eric Monaco is still scored in the race 3 laps down, though they are servicing his race car. Anthony McCurry, who made that contact on pit road, he is also still sitting there. And Nathan Norman, they've taken his car back to the garage area. Dollerton crossed the line, and indeed, he is P1. He'll be the leader when we go back green, but right now, the only drivers that have a shot at this victory, it would appear, that are restarting behind him would be Quentin Moore, Jack Mitchell, Zachary Fitzwater, Keith Batson, Casey Hoytley by McIntyre, Alexander Rowe, Matt Haas, and James Qualls. That's it. The rest of the drivers from Benjamin Snyder on back, they are up at the front of the field on the tail end of the lead lap. So unless a caution comes out here, the battle up at the front is going to be for 11th. The battle back here is going to be for the race lead. Now, this is going to be tough to keep track of, too, because we saw double wide, 3 wide, the ability to pass. It's going to be very interesting to watch these drivers try to slice their way up through the field while at the same time defend the race lead. McCurry is going to head back out onto the racetrack, but he lost, it looks like, 3 laps there with the amount of time he spent on pit road. And Eric Monaco is out of the race. I was just about to check and see where the 45 is. But it looks like he is done for the day. But this is a tough break there for Nathan Ormond. Based off of his qualifying result, got him that pit stall, and he was only 2 points to the good above the cut line. 30th in the standings coming into this one. Needed a good run this afternoon. He'll fall back down below the cut line heading into I-69 Speedway. By how much? We'll have to wait and see, as he'll finish 40th today. Eric Monaco will finish 39th. They joined Austin LaPlante back in the garage area. So when we get ready to go green, 37 drivers running, 34 on the lead lap, but really only 10 currently going to be in the conversation for this race victory, unless we end up having a caution come out and more drivers able to get back up there. Dustin Bolin now going to go to the inside. I think your lap cars, yeah, we got the 1 to green. Your lap cars are going to go up to the front there as well. So Caleb Fogler, Matt McIntyre, Dustin Bolin, Anthony McCurry will be up there, and that will put Fogler, McIntyre, and Dustin Bolin to 1 lap down, Anthony McCurry to 2 laps down when we go green. Well, Chris Dollerton, not running full-time here in the Cup Series, former champion from the inaugural season, Season 1. Runs full-time for points in the Light Series, but lights were off this week, so he attempted to qualify the Cup car for Blue Oval Automotive, made the show, started mid-pack, and now he's got a shot of picking up yet another Duracell Next Gen Cup Series victory. Now, the sad thing for Dollerton is if he were to win here this afternoon, He can't pull a Matthew Rodriguez from last year and, try and find a charter or find a way into every single race to be able to run for the championship here in the Cup Series, because beginning of the season he already declared for Light Series points and Light Series championship. So it'll still go down as a win for him. He just wouldn't be able to find a scenario to be able to battle and become a multi-time champion in the Cup Series. That's not going to stop him, though, as he's going to try and hold off Quentin Moore, who's looking for his second career Duracell Cup Series victory. His previous one during his rookie campaign back in Season 6 at Dover. Been a long winless streak for the driver at Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Jack Mitchell looking to get back to victory lane for the second time this season and extend his points lead heading into next week. Zachary Fitzwater looking for his first win of the season with his brand new team. And Keith Batson, who has struggled this season, still looking for his first top 10. Has a shot here, maybe to get more if he can maybe pick up the victory. Green flag in the air. We are back underway with 19 laps to go. Remember, up ahead of the leaders here, these are all battles for position from 11th back through 34th. Dallerton to the bottom. Feels that's the safest place to defend against Quentin Moore, Zachary Fitzwater, and others. One of the drivers that is right behind him on the lead lap with a shot at this victory is Matt Haas. And remember, he won at Daytona to start the season, looking for back-to-back superspeedway wins. Dallerton cutting his way through the field. He's got now a lap machine of Nick Gunther between himself and Quentin Moore. Now make it Connor Breton the lap car. Dallerton can manage traffic better than the others behind him. He might be able to build a bit of a wall of cars here. There's still quite a long ways to go in this one, too, as Dallerton tries to get the inside of Danny Bouchard. Bouchard doesn't want to go a lap down. He's going to block the 83. Now Quentin Moore back to the bumper of the 83 car of Dallerton. Dallerton saying, if you're going to get around me, you got to go around the long way. Top 5, all single file right there. Dallerton, Moore, Fitzwater, Batson, and Rowe. Four wide. And 3 wide for the lead. Dallerton, Moore in the middle. Fitzwater on the bottom. Lap car of Benjamin Miles up top. Oh, this is going to be tight off of turn number 4. Can they keep it together? Still 4 wide. Dallerton trying to tuck in behind the 89. Now he'll do so. Fitzwater has gone to the point. Alexander Rowe right behind him into second place. What a difference a caution makes there. Michael Norman led a race-high 16 laps, and right now he is a lap down behind these leaders in 24th. That's now Alexander Rowe to the inside of Zachary Fitzwater for the top position. Next closest competitor to these guys, I believe, would be Keith Batson, but he's about 5-6 cars back at the line. Who led that lap between Fitzwater and Rowe? Scoring gives it to the 83, but the 46 has the inside advantage, and he's going to go to the point. Now he's up to the top side. Watch for that green and blue number 39 of Keith Batson on the bottom. He's going to look for the top position here. Not quite side by side with the 39 and the 46 for the race lead. I'm also seeing Matt Haas, Jack Mitchell kind of looming back there. They could get up in this conversation. Moore will lead that lap, I think that Alexander Rowe rather. Batson in the middle groove. Here comes Matt Haas up the inside. 4 wide ahead of them again. Michael Norman, Connor Breton, Joshua Osborne, Ryan Brommer. They settled that out. Matt Haas has gone to the top spot. Getting by both Keith Batson and Alexander Rowe. Rowe is trapped up on the top. Batson is boxed in the middle. Now Matt Haas to the point. Who's the driver he has to worry about right now? That would probably be Levi McIntyre, who is about 4 cars behind him on that inside line in the 99. Matt Haas trying to get himself out into clean air to the front of the field. And with Matt Haas now going to the front, that means that 11th place on back now have fallen a lap down. McIntyre now moved into the middle lane. Matt Haas got moved there as well, so now Keith Batson the advantage on the bottom along with Quentin Moore. They'll use the shorter way around the racetrack to get up here to the inside of the 8 and the 99. Ooh, near contact back there between Jack Mitchell and Joshua Osborne. Keith Batson now out in the race lead. Quentin Moore got moved up to the middle line, so Batson with a bit of a cushion right now. 3 wide behind him as they continue to duke it out for spots inside of the top 15. Right now, Kyle Matthews in 11th position. He's the only car on the tail end of the lead lap of those that start out in front of the leaders. Batson doesn't want to open up the door to the inside. Driver he would have to worry about right now would be, I believe, the 46 of Alexander Rowe, who is 3 cars behind him on the bottom. Next driver on the bottom, 2 cars back from that, Jack Mitchell. And Batson got kicked up to the top side. Rowe got kicked to the middle. Watch for the 0-1 on the inside line. Mitchell going to take second from Alexander Rowe. Now looks for the lead there on the 39 of Batson, who did lead that lap. He's up in the extreme third line, though. And now he and Mitchell will be side by side through 1 and 2, and Mitchell will go to the point. Less than 10 laps to go. Jack Mitchell looking for his 2nd win on the season. Mitchell's never had a multi-win season in his career. But now he'll get kicked to the middle line. Who's the driver he's got to look back at now? That'd be Chris Dollerton in the 83. Correction, the 82. Well, Mitchell somehow found his way back down to the bottom, right in front of Benjamin Miles. Looking 4 wide again, going into 1 and 2. And they're going to be maybe some door banging there between Norman and Miles. As Mitchell trying to figure out which lane does he want to block. He shaded low, moves to the middle. That opened up the door on the bottom for the Young Motorsports Fords of Dustin Bolin and Eric Sadler. And here comes Dollerton, diving it in 3 wide, but he's not going to quite get alongside of Jack Mitchell. Mitchell doing a good job managing where the runs are coming from. Dollerton almost to the left rear quarter panel of the 0-1, though. And they will be side by side to the line. Who led that lap? Mitchell, I think, but Dollerton has the inside advantage, or does he? He gets shifted to the middle. Here comes Matt Haas in the 8, Keith Batson in the 39. Down the back straightaway, Matt Haas to the front. Batson into second. Keep an eye on the 24 of Casey Hoyt back there. He's starting to make his way forward. Matt Haas going to lead at the line there. Keith Batson moved up to the outside line. Not sure how wise a decision that was. 4 wide behind again. Shelton, Dollerton, Reeton, and Deaver. They settle it back out to 3. And now quite a bit of a buffer right now for Matt Haas back to his nearest competitor, which, looking at the inside line, might be Alexander Rowe, I think, because Casey Hoyt just got moved up to the middle groove, almost 4 wide. Whoop, he found his way back down to the bottom, though. Just tucked in behind Summer Henson. Right now, Batson is in second, but Casey Hoyt is trying to take that spot from him down the front straightaway. Matt Haas shows the way, heading the stripe for 6 laps to go. Casey Hoyt now 5th car in line, 2nd place on the scoring pylon. Charles Sanford will go to the inside of Matt Haas. What can Casey Hoyt do with this? He got moved to the middle. Here comes Alexander Rowe on the bottom in the 46. Gonna be 3 wide for the lead right there, 46, 24, 8. Advantage will be on the bottom for the 46 of Alexander Rowe. Zachary Fitzwater back in the conversation in the Fosters, number 83. And a little bit further back behind them, James Qualls starting to creep into this conversation. Former winner this season from Indianapolis, looking to join the 2-time winner club. Alexander Rowe now with the top position. He moves up the racetrack. Here comes Fitzwater diving it in 3 wide. Couldn't make it stick. Got a little tight there on the entry to turn 3. Rowe will keep the position. Fitzwater in 2nd. James Qualls now in the 3rd spot in this gaggle of lap cars. Some lap cars, some on the tail end of the lead lap. The battle for the lead and the battle for 11th all going on up here at the front. Alexander Rowe now, Fitzwater right behind him, then the lap car of Kyle Matthews, then the next machine would be James Qualls. Who's going to have the timed move here for the win? Alexander Rowe trying to control both lanes. Fitzwater to the outside. He's going to now lose 2nd place to Qualls. Qualls now moves to the inside of Kyle Matthews. If he can get around the 09, it's just 1 car to beat. And here he comes with a big run. James Qualls to the inside of Alexander Rowe for the top position. Did he make the move too soon? It's going to be the question. Now Sanford going to move to the inside of Qualls. Is that going to put Qualls in a position? Yes, it is. Now who has he got to worry about? Jack Mitchell in the 01, I believe. Qualls trying to hold off Alexander Rowe. That's all he can do on that top side now. Jack Mitchell has the inside advantage behind Caleb Fogler. 2 laps to go here from Dragonnett. Oh boy, Mitchell just got shoved into the middle line. But he'll have a shorter way around the track than Qualls did. Trying to look back and see if anybody can take advantage of the 01 being stuck in the middle. Maybe Casey Hoyt in the 24. But does he have enough time is the question. Oh, we're going 4 wide again up here. Ooh, man. That might just give Jack Mitchell a lane to the bottom in front of Poteet if he wants it. And he's going to get it. That may ice it right there. That was exactly what Mitchell needed to have happen. White flag displayed, this time by 1 lap to go at Dragonnett. Mitchell gets moved to the middle line again, though. Watch for the 24 on the inside. Does he have enough time to get up there? It looks like he might. Mitchell on the top, Hoyt on the bottom. Hoyt's got the inside advantage going down here into 3 and 4. Slower car up ahead. Mitchell trying to hang on. Hoyt edges up ahead. Here comes Matt Haas in the 8 with a big run on the bottom. It's not over yet. Matt Haas, can he get the run down the front straightaway? It's Matt Haas, Casey Hoyt, drag race to the line. Matt Haas is going to edge it out. Matt Haas is going to go 2 for 2 in super speedway racing here in Season 8. 18th in points coming into this one. And in back-to-back weeks, we have a multi-time winner here in the Duracell Cup Series. Matt Haas, by 22 1/1000ths. Got the timing, got the move, got the momentum out of 4, and edged out Casey Hoyt at the line to pick up the victory. He won at Daytona to open up the season. This season, he's been the Super Speedway Master as he picks up the victory here in the Coke 0200 at Dragonnett. What a move, what a pass, what a matter of timing And Matt Haas, the iRacing Toyota Camry out of Haas Racing, will now all but secure himself a playoff spot provided he stays in the top 30 in the point standings, as he will join Destin Bolin as a multi-time winner here in Season 8. What a move. I thought Casey Hoyt had this thing, and then I noticed that Matt Haas was coming up on the inside, and he had the draft, he had the momentum, he had the shorter way around the track, and he sniped the victory here literally in the final couple of corners. Casey Hoyt will bring it home with his third top 5 finish of the season. In second, Jack Mitchell didn't get the victory, but a huge points day for him as he came into this race in peril of leaving Dragonnett no longer the points leader. He will still be the points leader with a podium finish. Chris Dollerton, great run here in his second start of the season in 4th. And Alexander Rowe going to bring it home inside the top 5. He will stay in the top 10 in overall points. Same for James Qualls. Qualls may actually jump up to 2nd in points after this one with a 6th place run. Zachary Fitzwater, a great run for him in 7th. 8th place for Keith Batson. Quentin Moore in 9th. And Levi McIntyre completed your top 10. We ended up having that battle for 11th up at the front of the field, and it looks like out of all those drivers that were ahead of the leaders, only 7 of them managed to stay on the lead lap. Dylan Pote brought it home 11th. Daniel Voiles in 12th. That's a big run for Voiles because he was only 2 points above the third in the standings cut line, our Infineon winner, so that will give him a buffer. Benjamin Miles, he'll probably stay in the top 10 in points. Good run, 13th place for him. Summer Henson, Kyle Matthews in the top 15, with Eric Sadler and Daniel Bouchard. The rest of the drivers that finished on the lead lap. Cody Lamas, Ryan Brommer, Charles Sanford, the rest of your top 20. Brommer came into this race 2nd in points, 4 points behind Jack Mitchell. Finishes a total of 16 positions back. So what was a close points gap coming into this race may actually spread out a bit at the conclusion of this one. Carson Gum, he managed to battle up for 23rd. Michael Norman, who led the most laps this afternoon, 18 circuits out in front, finishes back in 24th. That caution really hurt a lot of drivers' opportunity. Had a good run this afternoon. Jessica Schulten was up in that lead pack for most of the race. She finishes in 32nd place. And you see here drivers that had the unscheduled pit stops. Matt McIntyre, Caleb Fogler, Dustin Bolin, all finishing down here in the results. Anthony McCurry, 3 laps down. And then the drivers that did not reach the conclusion, Eric Monaco, Nathan Ormond, and Austin LaPlante with the mechanical failure. Ormond, for sure, is going to drop below the 30th in standings cut line, which will make things interesting around the wild card positions heading into next week, when the lights drivers will come back and join the Cup drivers. The doubleheader at I-69 Speedway should be a good one. It'll be interesting to see what the fallout is from this race in regards to points for that upcoming event. But congratulations to Matt Haas, his 2nd win on the season, his 2nd win at a super speedway this season, as he is at a perfect 2-for-2 in those type of drafting racetracks, winning the Daytona 500 and now here in the Coke 0200 at Dragonnett Super Speedway. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race here from Dragonnett. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, part of the crew today. We showed your full feature results, and we're now about to show you your point standings heading into next week at I-69 Speedway. Hope you guys will join us for Lights and Cup Series action there. Until then, though, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.